This is what I do all day, every day. So I film business owners in their business, throw a microphone on them. I go to them and highlight them, help them, get promotion. They don't have to leave their place of business, whether you're a cupcake shop, whether you're a house flipper, like whatever, right? I come to you, throw a mic on, I prepare questions, and I help other people have content for their social media. It's just helpful to have a third party person, right, to come in here and look at you and like ask you questions and and it helps. So I coach people, I help them make content, and so that's what I do all day. I have a unique perspective on social media. So I want to do a little activity, okay? You guys ready? We're gonna do heads down, all right? Close your eyes. All right, I want this just so there's no judgment. I want you to raise your hand, all right, if you agree with the following statement, okay? Regardless of the platform, what kind, social media as a concept is here to stay, like for good. If you agree, raise your hand. If you disagree, hands down. Okay, cool, everyone over there. Okay, it's about 80%, 90% agree. So I also agree. I don't ever foresee us living in a world again without some form of social media. I think we're all probably way too addicted for that to happen, right? So with that being said, if that is the reality, social media is gonna be around for the rest of our lives, for our kids' lives, for their kids' lives. We are the very, very, very first generation to figure out how to use this new technology, like social media, reels, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool, we have this opportunity. Social media, the better you do on social media, the better your business will do, right? And in order to do good on social media, you as a person have to know and be comfortable with video, with cameras. That means being in front of the camera, which is a struggle for most people, I can tell you, because I do this all day, every day.
It's a struggle for me. I don't know if you guys see my stuff, but it's actually, it's a struggle because I'm an introvert actually. So I have to physically think to get more outgoing, because you have to be a level 10 because the camera tones you down, right?
Oh yeah.
The camera tones you down. And I'm actually physically very tired and drained after things like that.
Doing the content. Well, there's a reason why.
My personality.
Actually,
it's his personality, but not mine.
Well, I'm also an introvert. I'm just loud. So the reason why you feel drained is because acting is a job, right? Getting in front of the camera, saying things like our whole lives. This was a job. Most A-list movie stars make 10 to 25 million per movie to be able to deliver lines without choking. And now we're all expected to do this, for our own businesses in the last few years, right? And so it's kind of daunting. If you feel scared, why do I suck on camera? It's because this is a real high-paid job to do. However, social media is not going anywhere. So we better just embrace it and figure out how to do this for ourselves, right? So in 2013, I think you mentioned 2013, something about 2013, vertical video was born. The reel, as you know it right now, was born, 12 years ago? That's pretty damn new, this is very, very, very new. Vine, you guys remember Vine? Vine is what popularized Reels. Reels did not exist until Vine. It was 7-second vertical. People didn't like vertical. It was weird, they're used to the movie screens, but then Vine made it popular. And suddenly after Vine kind of came and went, all these social media platforms realized this is a way that we all can share, we get to share, whether it's not professional content creators, it's just normal people can use their phone to make vertical content. So that was just about 10 years ago. This is imagine living in a house with electricity just only 10 years after the light bulb was invented. That's where we're at with all of this. It's very, very new, right? What is the main benefit of social media? Why do we even do it, right? It's not to feel important. It's not to make up for our childhood traumas or anything like that. The main benefit is to be everywhere at once. That is a huge, huge power. Let me give you an example. This event, last week, I decided I was gonna peace out, take myself on a cruise. I've been making so many videos, I've been working way hard. I was like, I'm just gonna disappear for a while and just go to Mexico. So I was in Mexico, I had Wi-Fi for 5 seconds, and I get a text from Krish, and she's like, hey, we have this networking event next week, can you come and be a guest speaker participant? I thought it was a panel, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll always support, Like 20 minutes later, I'm still in Mexico. I get a text from Edwin, and he's like, yo, on my calendar, so stoked. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And there's a poster on the fridge of me, and there's a post online with my face on it I hadn't even seen, right, about announcing this event. That is the power of social media. I was in Mexico, you know, like I was getting ripped off for tacos while, true, $60 for 3 little tacos. But you're able to be everywhere at once, right? So I was not even remotely in the country, and Edwin's like all hyped up about this event that I don't even really understand. So that's the power of social, like you guys could all, there could be people interacting with you right now on one of your videos while you're here. That's huge, and that's the real benefit. It leverages your time. You get a massive return on your time if you can create content well. But here's the perspective I'm gonna give you guys that I don't think a lot of you probably think about. What is the difference between Netflix and Instagram in terms of like content, right? You consume content on both. You are a user. They both have millions and millions of users. But the difference is that Netflix pays hundreds of millions of dollars to people like me to make those shows. It costs them outrageous amounts of money to make a show that hopefully you're gonna like, that will keep you subscribed to the platform. Social media, you guys are making the content that keeps people coming back. You guys are doing it, I'm doing it. And then they're charging ad money for us to watch each other's content. So that's the difference, is that user-generated content, that's what keeps you on the platform, right? Like when I post, when you post, when Indar posts, we get notifications and we're like, oh, we wanna, what's Indar up to, right? And we hop in and we help Instagrams, because Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, doesn't matter what the name is, right? They rely on us to make the content so that they don't have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to people to do it. So they're trying, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? Like they want us, they need us. They need you, I promise you. But also we need them to push our stuff, right? We need the algorithm to help us actually get a return on investment for our time. Otherwise, we're not gonna do it. So that's kind of what today is about. It's just really giving you some different concepts behind social media and some tips and tricks.
That's what everyone's here for. They want to know the secret.
Let's go, dude.
Okay.
Stuff, right? the main, I love this. So this is, I don't know, some science or whatever. It's called the availability theory. The mind tricks us into thinking that if you see something more frequently, it is way more important. You know, China, right? You go to like Tiananmen Square, there's like the dictators and their portraits. That's all you see everywhere you go. So to those people are God, right? Like the things that you see all day are what shape your imagination. So news, right? Any event, assassination attempts, elections, whatever, right? They repeat the same messages. It doesn't matter which network at this point. It's all you're gonna hear about the same thing, just a little different perspective. They're trying to make you think that that is the most important news in the world. But guys, like what the hell is news? Like what does that even mean? There's so many things happening all across the world, like hobo stabs cat. Like, there's so many things that happen all the time. Who gets to determine like what is news and what is important, right? So they use this tactic to make you think that this is important. And that's why posting frequently on social media, like even as a small business owner, it gives you huge power to your audience, because like I'm meeting a lot of people here for the first time. I imagine some of you have like seen me before, you know, online. I've seen a lot of you online, which is cool. But you know, I followed your pet thing. Actually, I heard about it before today, and so when I met her, I was like, oh, that's so cool, because I follow her online, right? And I've seen it more often. So to me, it's important. Yeah, pet CBD.
Do you have a cat? Are you sailing across the Atlantic with a cat?
Nice.
that guy.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the power, right? It's like when you show up, you appear, and you want your small business to look important, right? And like this is the only option for your consumers.
I have a question about small business. We kind of backtrack. What do you promote? So early on, I tried to push my business more, and I tried to make my business as the focus to grow my business, our home investments. And this was Facebook era. I was trying to grow our home, and I got nowhere. But then I figured out in real estate is more of a personality trait. Right. You know, so I went back into promoting my personality, me, you know, and not the business. So where's that line drawn? Do you promote you, or you promote the business?
Both. Good question.
Yeah.
Both. So you guys know what a Venn diagram is? Sorry, I didn't really prepare it, but right, how there's like two circles, there's a little bit of overlap. So that's how I look at brand, right? Like Indar's over here on one, White Sands Capital is over here on one. Hawaii Co-working is like a whole, right. There is cross-section between some of those things. That's when a collaboration on Instagram between those 3 different accounts makes sense. So it's like Indar, White Sands Capital, and Hawaii Co-working is all sharing that piece of that's that centerpiece, right? If it's just Indar talking about his personal stuff, like his belief about, I don't know, mangoes, or his personal opinion about anything, that goes on, that has nothing to do with anything else. So that should go strictly on just his page, if that makes sense. So I would do it all. I mean, and I would just, you have to decide like, where does this land? Because we all have us, which is like you as an entrepreneur have your own thoughts, opinions that is different from your business. So you should have a page. Ideally, that page should be verified. With the blue tick, it's expensive, but the purpose of doing that is to show, I mean, it builds authenticity. It makes you look more important. You can't tell me you've never met somebody with a blue check and you're like, oh, even though you know they pay for it, it feels really cool to like shake their hand, you know what I mean? I can't get the blue check because my name is not legally Vitamin B, but Indar has one. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the power of social.
I remember the struggle of trying to get the blue check, and I was really trying.
Did you have one pre?
I just got one right before, like 2 months before,
nice.
And they came out.
They gave it to everybody. Now it's like 20, dude. It's a lot. So with all of this stuff being, I hope that answered your question. So promote everything, but with all this, consistency is the key. Doesn't matter what platform. Doesn't matter. This is just like a concept in general. Okay. The algorithm wants you to post because it brings people back into the app. Algorithms will reward you for posting original content. If you post 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is what I do for my clients, that is more than 95% of all accounts on that platform. Okay, so you are already putting yourself in this, all right, just by posting anything, it can be the worst pictures ever, 5%. You are in the top 5%. Now, if it's decent.
I just was talking about this.
Yeah.
I was driving to work this morning listening to Alex Hormozi on my podcast, and he was talking about social media. And he said, "You guys know who the #1 account is in social media right now? It's these Bollywood guys in India. They do 100 posts a day, and it's just like
quantity. India loves that quantity,
random
baby.
shit. It's not even nothing great, but it's because they get views. And can you imagine 100 posts a day?
Yeah, it's insanity. I don't know. He asked me if I could do that. I was like, oh, no. Maybe not. 3 a week.
Figure out. I
think everybody would hate me if I posted 100 videos in one day. Maybe I'll post all of these reels in one day and see how it goes. Yeah, so if the content is decent, okay, like you're already at 5% posting anything. If you got captions, right, you got like maybe some music, maybe a little bit of B-roll. Now you're like in the top 1% of anybody of those users. So the Instagram gods, the Facebook gods, right, they need you, they want you to be posting. So regardless of what it is, even if it's not the best content, even if it's your iPhone, even if it's, anything like that, posting is gonna give you an edge. Being consistent will help you win no matter what. And it will also help you be more comfortable and learn how to do stuff. I love data. Okay, we talked about the pink. Let me tell you that story. So I love data. To me, social media is the greatest way to gather data about your potential target audience and figure out what they want. Here's an example. When I first moved to Hawaii 3 years ago, I came from Vegas. I was shooting rap videos. It wasn't the greatest experience. I have 2 kids, 3 and 1, and I was like, I'm gonna get shot. I had a lot of weapons pointed at me during the rapping, and.
For making the video.
Oh yeah, I don't even really have it. Whip it out of the pants, and then it's load. Yeah.
Wait, fun story. Somebody rented my house in Portland to make a rap video.
Oh, nice.
Then they rented a Lamborghini, and then they had strippers there, and the rapper bought. He told me his whole life savings, and he had it all in his hand just to
flex up. Yeah. He should have just bought fake cash on Temu. It's way cheaper. But yeah. Sorry. Anyways, so okay, pink. So when I first got here, I was already calling myself Vitamin B, right? I had the account, I had the brand, but I didn't know what like color or, I knew I wanted to like lean into something. So I thought I was gonna do blue and pink, cotton candy. That was my vision, right? There's a really, really bright colors. And so I bought a ton of, I went on Amazon and I bought a bunch of blue, bunch of black, and a bunch of pink hoodies, all of them, just a bunch. And I just started shooting videos and switching them out, and just seeing what worked. And when I lived in Makaha, I was like running out of the beach, I was like putting on a hoodie, I was sweating my balls off, and then I was like, I'm Vitamin B, I'd take the hoodie off as soon as it was over, and then I would post everything. And then I would look at the data and I would just be like, what did people like? And overwhelmingly, when a 4XL big white dude put on a pink hoodie, that was it. It was like, the data went nuts. Everyone was like, and then I would start to show up to anywhere, like a meeting or an event, and people were like, where the hell is the pink? And I was like, oh, geez, like they connect with it. And so that's data, right? Like I'm learning what my customers are noticing about me. And so then I started tweaking it, and I went on Temu, and I was like, all right, dude, pink, men's, there's not a lot, you know, and I just started ordering everything. And then I would post, you know, like do a post in that piece of clothing and look at the data to see like what works. So that's the more you post, regardless of what it is, the more data points you're actually gonna get. Like people think about followers, people think about like clout as like the main ROI. It doesn't really do much for you. Like you can have all the followers in the world, but like you're still just you're still gonna watch Netflix tonight and go home and be the same like person, right? The real ROI like in business is data and growing your business and helping it get to the next level. And so like if you put a billboard up, how do you know who likes it or doesn't? Like you have no data. It's just you get clicks. I hope my 10 grand or whatever was worth it at my 3-month commitment, right? With Facebook, you can, Instagram, TikTok, you post anything, right? Switch up the hoodie, switch up whatever. Treat it as a test. Like I'm gonna test one thing in these videos and then look at the data and see what works. And then make a decision, tweak the business a little bit, right? Like, okay, good, now I'm only gonna wear pink. Oh, and then I dropped the hoodie because I realized no one cared about the hoodie and I was sweating for no reason. And so I was like, no one cares about this. So I dropped it, you know, and I started posting just normal, and then I was like, thank God. So it was the color, not the material, you know, but I didn't know that. And it took a lot of posts to get to that point. So when you are posting, right, like you're just gathering data on what type of stuff people like, and then the most important part is replicate, like double down and replicate on what worked. If you post 10, which one did the best? Was it you introducing yourself? Was it you with your kids? Which one was it? And then draw conclusions. Oh, they want to know me as a human. They like to see this side of me. Oh, they want to hear me talk about mortgages, or they want to hear me talk about, I don't know, this fire that just happened, right? You can look and literally see what worked. Do more of that. And then
that's a funny thing, because me and Chris just had a big conversation about our goal is we're writing down everything that works on every post. So the pink hoodie works. So every post got to be okay. This color background works every time. So now our goal is to make sure we check mark the boxes of everything works. So if you took a quick mental, or just write it down, all the things that worked well in your videos, and make sure you check mark that box every time, and then you're just adding to the list and adding to the list.
Exactly. And that, you know, we actually did this with Indar too. So like 6 months ago, me and Krish, and we were all jamming in January, and we were like, you know what, like we looked.
By the way, Vitamins, he's done a bunch of our videos, a lot of our postings actually from him.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that you've seen in
a lot of collabs and stuff. He comes and sits in my office and we'll talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And for Indar, we tested it in January. We pulled up. I attached all of his social media accounts to my like data analyzer, and I was like, what has worked for you? And we looked at all of it, and overwhelmingly what we saw was people wanted to see properties. People wanted to see properties more than they wanted to see like Indar's face anywhere, which makes sense because people are interested in real estate, right? And so we said, let's take Indar, like we don't want to take him out of it because this is his brand. So instead of being in his office, let's go to the properties. And so we hopped in the Cybertruck, we'd roll down to the different flips. I'd have him standing there like in the garbage, you know, like, and I would ask him questions with the garbage everywhere as opposed to in the office. And the data overwhelmingly points that people like that. People are like, yeah, we love to see Indar like doing it, right? Like actually in it. And so then we did an event at a flip to create more content, you know? So you take it, you figure out what people like, and then you slowly build your business based on that. And that's what I do all day, every day for all these businesses across, is we try to figure out what works and then replicate it and make it fun still. Okay, the algorithm is like the god of social media, right? And it's AI, right? It's an AI software that says, if this happens, then this happens. That's all it is, right? If I go and like your posts, then the next time I refresh my feed, I want to see 3 more of your posts. That's all it is, right? And it's a very complicated equation. It changes all the time. Every platform's got a totally different one. But across all platforms, there's 2 ways that people engage with your content that tell the algorithm, push this sucker out. Get more people to watch it, okay? There's explicit and implicit. So explicit is likes, comments, shares. Hey, Indar, cool, whatever, fire emoji, whatever. It's like each time you do one of those, it's gonna like rank it higher and higher. Like, oh, this is doing well, this is doing, and the sooner that happens when the post goes out, the better it'll do, right? Oh, this thing went out and immediately, 30% of the people that saw it hearted it. That's an explicit way of giving algorithmic feedback. Implicit is, video watch time. How long are you staying on that video? Are you watching it to the end, or are you bouncing after 5 seconds?
I just seen I watched the Liver King thing on Netflix the other night. He mentioned something in there I thought was interesting. He lets his videos play over and over. He leaves his computer on all day, just have more views.
He hacks. Hacks himself.
That's a good idea. Let your just play and repeat your video.
Dude, there are dudes in India with walls of cell phones, and they got all these crazy and that's what they do. I mean, people pay them to engagement farm, and it's crazy. Yeah, they do it, and they try to replicate this. But yeah, video watch time, DMs. Are people sending your video to other people's DMs? We can't see that. I can't see it, but the algorithm knows, and it's going to rank it higher. And then profile hits. How many people came from the video and they were like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then they got to the profile. So these are the ways. These are all the ways to help the algorithm be like, all right, if these things happen, then I'm going to promote the content. And ultimately, guys, the better we do in the algorithm, the better our business will do. I mean, that's just facts these days. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? So it's really not something.
That's the hardest part right there.
It's
honestly,
yes.
Because you get into posting, you're in it, and you're oh, I'm doing good this month, and then next month, life happens. You're traveling to Mexico.
Yes.
Yes. That's the hardest part, because you got to do it for years and years of.
Well, and the thing is, this is like I said, we didn't know that when Vine came out. We had no idea that this was going to be how small business evolved, but this is it. This is the reality of small business now, right? I spent 25 years training how to work really hard on a commercial set, right? To spend $5 million and make a 30-second commercial to go premiere on KHON. That's what media was. And now it's just it's all totally different, right? It's not even about, that would be a sprint, right? Making something that's really sexy and beautiful, like a movie. But really, social media content is way more about quantity and the grind, the marathon over time, appearing over time to your audience and slowly building a new one. I mean, that's really it, right? And all of us have the power to leverage that. Video people are not doing this. They're not making the jump into the world of social media, and the industry is basically gone. I mean, the Hawaii and LA movie industry is almost completely gone because we are the movie industry, whether you like it or not. Social media has completely replaced Hollywood. I mean, how many people would rather just scroll their phone than go to a movie theater or rent? You're seeing quality content that other people made for free. So this is the direction, right? And if, as a small business owner, we can figure out how to get comfortable on camera, how to talk about what we do.
I'm curious. Do you guys? I want to ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys make a decision at night? Am I going to watch TV or am I going to scroll? Because I make that decision sometimes. Do you guys do that same thing? You decide if you're going to scroll or watch Netflix.
There you go.
And when I take the phone and scroll.
But that's most everybody.
Your hands are naturally. I think I got a dent in my pinky from holding my phone.
Oh, we all do. I literally have a disease. Anyways. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. The number one thing I would encourage you to do is just post. I mean, there's 1.5 million videos on how to make better videos. I have other presentations on my YouTube channel where I teach you actually how to use your phone and the settings and stuff. But the truth is, as long as you have a microphone like this or the one I'm wearing and your phone, you're good. I mean, that's it. You have 4K video on any iPhone, and then this will give you crystal clear audio. These are $30 to $200 on Amazon.
We didn't really touch into. I'm kind of curious about all the different social media sites and the what's good, what's bad, and just the pros and cons of each one. From TikTok to. Right. Can you address each one?
Sure, yeah. No worries.
We keep talking about Instagram, of course, which we're alluding to. But there's pros to TikTok and
100%. Okay, yeah. So
I could share a little.
The OG was MySpace. If you guys remember, anyone's old enough to remember that.
Tom lives over here in Hawaii. Actually, if you ever met him, I met him one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He sold out and bought a huge mansion over here.
I met him at a wedding.
Yeah, he actually disappeared.
He's a photographer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For fun.
Yeah, he's got billions of dollars.
For fun.
Anyways, he has nothing else to do. So MySpace was first. Then Facebook came and took it all over by storm, right? And so Facebook is going to be where I'm going to say like the boomers, Gen X, that's mainly the demographic there. So if you're trying to sell to people like real estate, I'm sorry, but like TikTok, Gen Z does not have money to invest in indoors properties. They don't.
Yeah, we find more of our investors, more properties from Facebook.
100%.
And
so,
Facebook is more worldwide. There's something billion Facebook users.
Right. Facebook's, and it's not going to go away. I really don't. Like everyone kind of said for a few years, it was like that. It's not going to go away, right? Like it's really Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, right? Instagram is going to be, and Facebook is more like the personal friend-to-friend experience, right? Instagram is more like, you know how like when you walked in here, there was like, you're like, whoa, it's like really nice. Like there's like white panels and there's like this certain flow. Like you don't maybe notice at first all the different design elements that made it feel white, bright, and spacey, right?
Designed all.
But that's what Instagram is supposed to be. Like when people go to your Instagram, it's like, how does your brand feel? That makes sense? When you walk into the store, you go to mine, it's like very pink, you know, very bright, like very color. And you go to indoors, it's very different, right? It's like a lot of properties.
I just thinking Instagram becomes your web page.
Pretty much.
I've been doing business for 12 years now, and early on we built web pages for credibility. So a web page to us was a credibility page. Not necessarily, you're trying to get business and so forth, but a web page back then was make sure you're legit, who you are. You're a good, successful business if you had a web page. You know, this is 10 years ago. And now I think Instagram becomes that. As I've been trying to hire a bunch of employees, not first thing, but we go check their Instagram and see what they're, I don't want to call it credibility, but it's
what are you up to?
Who they are.
What do you feel like? Yeah. Like, if you get on there and it's like graffiti and gang signs and street racing, you're like, I'm not all right,
And I would be now cautious of how you post and what direction you're posting. You know, for example, that girl who was posting the sexy model bikini pictures, trying to get a professional job, you know, is that going to relate to is that going to help?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it has a huge ability to help you or to hurt you, you know, and so Instagram's kind of a little bit of everybody. I would say most people are on there. TikTok is going to be Gen Z. So if you're selling products, TikTok is choke. Like it's the best.
I actually like TikTok better than Instagram.
A lot of people like TikTok. As I just learned, has better engagement. Most like TikTok, it's very like it will pump new reels and push it to more people. So whereas like on Instagram, if you have 400 followers and you post, 400 people are going to see it. You know, if they're even on that day, right? If those 400 people, if they're not, sucks for you. TikTok's a little bit more generous.
And it's more loose too.
Yeah.
We utilize
China,
TikTok,
baby.
for example.
Regulations.
We'll do like
China.
we'll do the same post sometimes to see what post works better, because they don't care if you post the damn video 10 times. You know, they don't care. So we utilize TikTok trying to see what posts work better, because they don't care.
Yeah. They're
kind of more loose.
And I kind of like didn't, I wasn't taking it very seriously because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with this, you know, but now I think I probably should. I was talking to him and he was just like telling me, he's like, oh yeah, he was showing me his TikTok and how much he's blown up. So anyways, and then I'm going to say YouTube is the most universal, probably. Like YouTube shorts, people get real addicted to those YouTube shorts. They will scroll for hours and the algorithm is watching all of those implicit, explicit things. Like, are you scrolling? Are you subscribing? Are you liking? Right? And so, like, I've had clients that are like cleaning air ducts. Yeah, it's not sexy, it's not cool, but it's just like, and that goes nuts on YouTube. People just love watching the brush, and like it's very satisfying, right? So he started blowing up, and not on TikTok, not on Instagram, but on YouTube it worked. So you just don't know, right? Like what type of content is going to do well on which platform?
Yeah, very different. Yeah, TikTok's very its own, more day in the life or the.
Yeah, like behind the scenes. Yeah, and so like
like the day in the life, the guy who's sailing from freaking Oregon to Hawaii with his cat, he blew up on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
And you ever watch it? It's just like, here's my cat and I'm fixing something and I'm gonna, it's, I don't know why it's so catchy.
Because I don't know. It's the power of social media, you know, and building a brand. So yeah, I mean I would recommend posting to all of them. And the way that I do it is there's a million softwares guys that like do this. Like there's so many.
So back to the beginning question, do you have your kids? Do you build your kids' page?
I don't know that I'm qualified to answer that question.
You have 2 kids and our kids are very same in age, so.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
My wife posts for my kids, but we're private and friends and family only.
Do
you open the page to everybody, especially kids and, kids are privacies and
dude, kids
some
are
weirdos out there.
I will say this: kids make up a massive amount of view time on the internet, way more than any of us think. Like, if you have kids, you know, man, they rock that iPad, they swipe, I mean, they go. Like, it's little kids under like 8. If you can make content that will engage with them too, you win, man. I mean,
Coco Melon and
anything like that, you know, yeah. So I don't know, but yeah. So any questions that you guys have about like anything, social media, how to kill it, anything?
Deal.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you tell us about, I guess, when to not to use the difference between long form content and short form content?
That's a great question. Very good question. Long form content versus short form. Okay. Dairy cow versus beef cow. That's how I look at it. All right. So a beef cow, you got to kill it to enjoy the beef, right? It's dead. It's gone. Its life is over. That is more like a reel. Short form content will die in the, like, you know, you post it, you have like 24 hours for that sucker to either do well and it's gone, and only if they go to your page and look it up by scrolling down are they ever going to be able to find it again. So it's a beef cow. You have to kill it to use it, but you know, steaks are pretty damn good, so we use them. However, you know, milk cow is going to be more of like your long form, your YouTube, and that's pretty much only YouTube. Is like YouTube is the only place I would post anything long. This video right here, right now, that's my camera, will be going on YouTube tonight. This is long form, right? For anyone that wants to just go and sit down and rewatch all this podcast style, right? They can. I'm going to take this video and run it through AI and generate shorts that for the next like 2 weeks, I'm going to schedule to post across all platforms using different apps. So Metricool is the one that I use. There's one called After, and there's so many of them. But it allows you to connect all of them at once. So instead of posting to TikTok and this and that.
Share that, because I know a lot of people here struggle with being a full-time job, life, kids. What kind of hacks or things people could use just to help promote, to be quicker at the game of it all? Because some of us are older and, you know, it's less.
Here's how I run my content sessions when people hire me. So this is exactly what you can do to replicate it. I create a list of 10 to 20 questions that I am curious about the person, or you know, that I want them to answer, right? Based on their website, based on just personal things that I have about them. I print it out, and then I show up. Let's say it's Indar. I show up to Hawai'i co-working space, and I'm like, all right. I tell him to bring a few shirts. Usually, I'm like, bring a couple shirts, so it's not like your whole feed is this, you know. And then I'll ask him 3-4 of the questions. You know, Indar, why is it important to calculate your, I don't know, you know, ARV well, da-da-da-da, like whatever. He's gonna answer the question, and then I'm like, great, move. And then I move him from this background to this background. And the nice thing about vertical is, like, move this much and you got a whole new background, right? So you don't have to go very far. So, and now I turn Indar, now we got the plant behind him, new question. That's a new reel with a new background. And then he answers 3, switch shirt, keep going. Different background. And after 90 minutes typically is what it takes me, like I'll have about 15 reels that are like, you know, 15 to 45 seconds of me answering those questions. And then of course you have to either edit those or send them to an editor to do, but it's called content batching. It's like, instead of trying to like every day be like, damn it, what do I post today? You sit down once a month only and you write out that whole list of questions and you say, what do people want to know, or what do I want people to know about me this month? You know, like what questions, what story do I want to tell? Write the questions, shoot it all in like 2 hours, have your friends or whatever, like roll on you answering those questions, switch your shirts, and then literally edit and schedule, and it's done. And so you only have to the hardest part is sitting down and filming and hitting record. The hardest part is hitting the button. So if you can make it so that only has to happen like once a month, and you just crank through your shirts, then I mean that's what I do, and I would recommend it, because it's like you can compartmentalize that one particular stress to that one particular time frame when you know you're prepared for it. Whether it's hiring somebody, whether it's having your friend grab it doesn't matter. Just do it during that time and then don't worry about it. And then, you know, like that's what my service does, is we show up for mostly boomer Gen X businesses and that have all the business but none of the know-how, and we throw a mic on them and we run it for them so they can just keep doing their thing, baking the cupcakes or like whatever, because they don't want to have to go post it all, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's what I'd recommend, is batch it, sit down and like really take it seriously, do it once a month, hold yourself accountable, and then, you know, schedule it all out. Like I schedule a month out in like an hour. So I'll sit down and just schedule everything, and then I'm done for the month, and then I just wake up and I'm like, oh, I just posted again, you know, like I just posted, you know, and I don't even remember doing it, you know? And so that, I would say that's probably the best way to like cost effectively create an entire month's worth of content.
That's my dirty secret. A lot of people come up to me and be like, "Oh, you talked to me, you posted this." I'm like, "Oh, it wasn't me posting.
It's
It
Chris."
wasn't me talking." But it was Chris still.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
Any
to be
other questions about social media or algorithms or anything from the world?
What about stories?
Stories are huge. Yeah, especially, yeah.
You've been doing a lot of stories.
I've been doing a lot
yeah.
of stories. I've been doing a lot of research. It just says stories.
Is there any way to make it without you doing it? Can you systemize
it?
Yeah, automate it.
Not yet. I don't have one yet. But the stories are the 24 hours, right? They expire. It's like, what are you up to right now? That's how to create like the ultimate trust with your followers, and also like FOMO, right? Where like fear of missing out. Like you want them to be like, oh shit, where are they at today? Or what are they doing? Oh, look at the Inner's on this property. Oh, he's on the west side. Like you kind of, I'm just sitting here in my cubicle. Like that's what you want. Like you want people to be like, where are they? That's why they're on social media. They want to see where their friends and their people are at and what they're up to. They want updates. Like,
well, leading to her question, my personal problem is I'm sitting in front of that computer all the time and it's so boring. How do I make it look better? Can I take maybe old reels or old things and post, or what would you have? A lot of us are sitting in a desk all day and it's very boring.
The nice thing is we live in Hawaii. Everywhere is beautiful, literally everywhere. And it's not like Wisconsin where you have to or you can't even see, it's every day is perfect filming weather. The reason why Hollywood came to LA is the weather. That's it. Like they knew that they could keep that operation going and the cameras wouldn't get rained on, right? 365. So we happen to live in a very like film friendly state. Go outside, find a palm tree. I would mix it up. I would rarely do it like in my office or whatever, unless it's color specific. So like there's some ghetto ass walls in Kaka'ako that are pink. All day long, like they smell horrible, but I'll go and film my stuff in front of those pink because it's like such a cool background. But at what cost?
We built this office out with that idea. If you ever look at the different walls, you have a live living raw wall. Some of the offices all have different backgrounds.
Oh, and I do content sessions with my clients here for that reason. Like I move them through these rooms.
I literally built the office.
And it looks like like 10 different. I mean, it is 10 different offices, but yeah. So
come here and film.
Come here and do the rotation, man. But yeah, so I don't know. Stories are important. It helps people feel like they are with you, almost, right? Like I think that's. People can follow you, but like how? All right, you might have 100,000 followers, but like, what percentage of those care about you? Like, what percentage of those watch or will engage with you? Because if you have a lot of followers because you are sexy, cool, but also like. It's gonna run out, at some point, right? So you better have a new plan. But also, like, what percentage care about you beyond, the bikini photos or whatever it is, right? And that's how stories come into play. Is they're gonna actually get to know what you're up to all day. Like, I mean, think about it. Was there ever a time in human history where we could literally share like exactly what you are doing in exactly this second with somebody completely across the world? Yeah. And it's always like shocking who views your stories, and what kinds of people are actually really engaging. But yeah, I mean, stories is like retention. You know what I mean? It's like the reels are going to get you the new followers and build the audience. But then when you're constantly posting stories, that's where you retain people, and you like most of my people that hired me only after like 2-3 months of following me, for what it's worth, right? So it's like they knew that I was hustling every damn day. Like I was out there and I was building FOMO. They were like, damn it, he's filming with my competitor.
Made me do a story.
And now I want to hire him or this or that. And so stories can do that. I mean, for any industry, right? Like it can be really, really, really powerful. Yeah. That answer your question? Cool. Awesome.
What about editing videos? Like, are you using a computer or
That's a good one.
Yes. I call this the filmmaking difficulty funnel. All right. It's a funnel. All right. Anyone can shoot. It's not hard. Where you can all just roll anytime. So top of the funnel. It's very difficult to edit. It's a little thinner part of to make something that's actually like good that can go out is hard. But really like posting it in a way to all of those different platforms, like actually getting it past the finish line and out, is probably the most difficult part of all of it. Editing's hard. Master it or hire it out. Those are your two choices, basically. And it's not expensive. It just depends on what you do. Like Edwin does it locally here. And there's people all over Fiverr, you know.
Would you recommend using like
Upwork.
so many millions of softwares, or you can edit on Instagram? Is there better? I hear it's better to do it on Instagram through their thing, don't they?
Edits. I think they're trying to push. Yes, I think they're trying to push reels made in their. It's called Edits, their app. TikTok's app is CapCut. That's their editing app, and that blew like TikTok used CapCut to blow up TikTok. Does that make sense? Because TikTok, like CapCut gave the tools, and then they would push CapCut tutorial videos on TikTok so that people were all pushed. So, but then when TikTok went down, suddenly everyone was like, wait a second, what are we supposed to edit on? So CapCut is like the most common. Instagram just did their own version called Edits. It's an app where you can do really simple edits, add captions, like whatever, and then if you post it from Edits to Instagram, supposedly they reward you a little bit because they're trying to push like TikTok, right? Their Edits thing. So
Edits and CapCut.
It's hard. What I will say is this: every video should have captions, if can, because most people watch without audio. So that you can do with either of those apps. You can just click a button, it'll AI bring them up. For the Hawaiian words and stuff, you gotta change it, you know. But other than that, like it's pretty good. Like 98%, it's just gonna automatically you pick your color, you pick your thing, get captions and B-roll. So what that means is like every 3 seconds, every 3 to 5 seconds, change what I see, please. You know, like that's how most people prefer that. I watch. So when I'm kind of a creep when I'm in public, I watch people on their phones and I count how long it takes before they scroll to the next thing. And what I learned overwhelmingly is within 5 seconds, if it's just me talking and then nothing changes, like it doesn't cut to anything else, people are going to bounce. And so I call it the casino effect. Every 5 seconds, I just like a change what you see. That's why all this iPhone, all that stuff, everyone's shooting. That's like awesome B-roll, right? That's perfect for this kind of stuff. No one cares. They're not going to be like, hey, that doesn't match. They just want to like be entertained. You've seen those videos where we're talking about like science and it's like a car racing, you know? People are just a super ADHD. So that's just the reality. So try to change what you're seeing every few seconds. You can edit it yourself, or you can hire it out. Like, you know, I have a guy in India for like $200 a month that will pretty much edit up whatever I throw at him. And editing is a skill that's like really common overseas and not here. And that means it's cheap. I mean, the editors here did Hollywood, and they made a lot of money. And now there's no